Hello, dear students. This is Abhijit Brahma, Faculty, Department of Business Administration, USDM. So, welcome back to another session, another video presentation and lecture. So, if you remember, in one of the previous video presentations, we have discussed about the communication process models, right? And prior to that, we have also discussed about the behavioral change theories and models. And in one of the classes, we have also talked about the marketing mix, right? That is the four P's. But today we're going to talk about marketing communication mix. So what is this communication mix and how is it different from marketing mix? Let us have a look at it. So marketing communication mix, like I've already mentioned, about the marketing mix, that is the four P's. It basically refers to the fourth P, which is the promotion, right? So in other words, you can also call it as the promotion mix, right? Or marketing communication mix. So it's the same. So this gives access to numerous forms of communication, right? This communication mix, it deals with different forms of communication, right? And these different communication elements have distinctive capabilities relative to the types of messages that they can convey and the market segments most likely to expose to them. So what are the components of this communication mix, right? So just like the elements of marketing, that is the four P's: product, price, place, promotion. It defines about the marketing as a whole, right? So similarly, the elements of communication mix, it defines about the communication, right? The communication, uh, the characteristics, and the details of communication, the process of communication, right? Okay, so let us uh, try to have a better understanding of it by understanding the elements or components of this communication mix, or in other words, the promotion mix, correct? So how can we communicate or how can we promote our messages? Let us look at the first component or element called advertising, right? Now, a very common misunderstanding or mistake that a layman does or common people do is thinking that marketing is all about advertising. So if you ask someone who has no who does not have much idea about marketing, he will just say, if you just ask him or her what is marketing, you just say it is about advertising or selling, something like that. But marketing, as we all know, is a much broader aspect. It goes much beyond just advertising or promotion activities, right? So we're just talking about one small aspect of marketing, that is communication. Small yet very significant. So one significant element of this communication mix is what we call it as advertising. Now we all have seen advertises or advertisements in various forms and in various through various platforms or channels, right? So what is this advertising about? Let us try to understand it in a technical way. So it deals with or it refers to the non-personal mass communication by an identified sponsor, right? And the nature is that it is very cost effective and powerful means to reach the masses. Now, before moving ahead with the other elements of communication mix, let me just clarify it to you. Let me just enlighten it to you that different communication elements, right? Different promotion mix elements have different purposes, right? Have different uses, have different meanings, right? As a marketer, be a social marketer or even as a commercial marketer, We cannot just use all the types of communication mix, or all the types of tools for one purpose, right? So we cannot just use all the types of communication mix elements for one specific purpose or one marketing objective, right? Okay, so the next characteristic of advertising is that it has the capacity to attract the market, right? And what else? Like I said, we all see advertisements daily, be it in TV, as a TV commercial, right? Between any favorite episode of ours, be in between the reality shows, between the news, etc. Right? So why is this advertisement for? What is this advertisement for? It is basically to achieve the informative, educative, and persuasive objectives, right? And uh, it is a unique and compelling advertising messages that has a stronger connection with the target audience, right? The goal of the marketer in terms of advertisement is that they'll always try to make it very unique, creative, very attractive, right? It should be very compelling. The message through the advertisement, through the contents should be very compelling so that a stronger connection is built. Now, like I said, every communication element has their own purpose, has their own uses, has their own specialties. So the impact that advertisement does, or let's say the importance of advertisement is that it is basically used or adopted by marketers when there is a need to reach out to the masses, or when there is a need to deliver the message to a large group of people, right? Just try to recall about the TV commercials, right? The ads in the TV, in the televisions or the radio. Now, who watches the television, right? It's now imagine number of people who watches television, right? All over India or all over the country, right? All over the state, all over the region. So the number that is being that the television industry, or let's say the advertising industry caters to, is huge, right? So this is why advertising is what is, let's say, the most effective communication element or method in context of reaching out to the masses, right? Okay, so moving on to the next communication element. Uh, Before moving on, I'd also like to point out a few things that this advertising can be through, mostly through paid media, right? For example, TVs and radios. It can be also through print print media such as magazines and newspapers, right? Movie theaters and many types of outdoor media such as posters, billboards, electronic message boards, and exteriors of buses and bicycles, right? I hope this sort of images popped up pops up in your head when you think about advertisement, right? So advertisement can be both through conventional methods, traditional methods, and as well as through modern methods, right? The modern techniques would include digital media advertising, right? Through social media and through advertisement through emails, etc. Whereas the conventional types might include the posters, right? Newspaper advertisement, right? Posters and banners at the buses. Okay. So it is also considered as the most dominant form of communication in customer marketing. Okay, the first point of contact between service marketers and their customers. This is what advertising is about. Advertising, it comes as a first point of contact between service marketers and the customers, and it serves to build awareness, inform, persuade, and remind. And like I said, in context of social marketing, advertisement can be a tool or an element which can be very effective or very helpful if the cause is about spreading awareness, right? spreading awareness about anything, any cause, any about any disease prevention, right? Etc. So what can be challenges to a marketer in advertisement? There can be a few questions that comes against the marketer. There is how to get the messages noticed, right? For example, there are hundreds of TV ads, commercials that we see, but how many of those advertisements do we actually notice, or how many of those advertisements do we really get attracted to? That's the most important question, and this is a very big challenge for marketers, right? How to make it unique, how to make it appealing and attractive. The second question or a challenge for the marketers is that how can the organization hope to stand out from the crowd, right? This is something similar to the first question. So it's not necessary that the message or the advertisement should be longer, should be louder, right? It's not at all necessary, but it depends upon the effectiveness of the message, the relevance, and all other sorts of all other factors revolving around it. So the marketer's goal is always to be creative with it, always be innovative with the ideas, right, in spreading the message. Okay, so now let us move on to the next element of communication mix, which is sales promotion. Now, what is a sales promotion? I'm sure you must have come across this in your daily lives or somewhere at a point of time. But did we actually know that those activities were actually called sales promotion? This is what we have to ponder upon. So this is a communication attached to an incentive, right? And it is usually specific to a time period or a price or customer group. So sales promotion cannot be done or conducted uh, as general as an advertisement can be done, right? So sales promotion can be, I know, very specific, and it will basically relate to, or uh, it will be based on a specific time period or a customer group or even pricing, right? So the objective of conducting a sales promotion activity will be to accelerate the purchasing decision or motivate customers to use a specific service, right? Or even to purchase a product, correct? Now, what does this include? Sales promotion, it will include several short-term incentives, right? In order to persuade customers to initiate the purchase of goods and services. Number one, very important and the most basic characteristic of sales promotion. Then it also uses tools such as rebates, discounts, paybacks, buy one get one free schemes, coupons, and more. I hope that you can recall such situations or moments where you have seen the sale offers, the discounts, right? Buy one get one free, buy two get two free, etc., etc. Right? So those kind of activities are what called as sales promotional activities, right? Another characteristic that is under sales promotion is that it gives the customer a reason to buy the product, right? In the form of a discount. So let's just say you have visited a mall or a store, and even though you had no intention to buy a product, when you see a discount or a sale offer, then you kind of get persuaded or influenced by that factor, right? So this is how sales promotions and this sort of activities influences the customer's buying decision, right? Another thing that it includes is provision of incentives for dealers and distributors, right? Okay. So another important characteristic about sales promotion is that it is cost effective again, that is, it is comparatively lower in its cost, and it requires less capital because it gets the product moving, right? The sales promotion the sales promotion activities, it helps the marketers to keep the sales going on, or to keep their product moving, right? Or let's say to keep the inventory moving. So this is used as a marketing tool, especially with the rise of e-commerce and online sales. So sale is not just found only on the physical stores, but also online, right? Now you must have heard about the Big Billion Day and other sorts of offers given in online platforms or big e-commerce giants, right? Discount offers every other day depending on every occasion, such as Durga Puja or Christmas or whatever, right? So in such situations or occasions when the marketers imposes such sales promotional activities, there are customers who even gets persuaded to buy it impulsively, right? That takes decision on the spot. So ultimately what sales promotion does is, for the physical stores, the brick and mortar, it helps in increasing the footfall, right? And when the footfall increases in a store, the chances of the sales growing, right, or the chances of the increased sales is higher, right? So this is the purpose or the use of sales promotion. Now, in context of social marketing also, this can be very effective because this is something which can connect with the audience, target audience, by conducting various dramas, plays on the streets, right, regarding any awareness campaigns or social cause, right? It can be about a plantation drive, it can be regarding prevention of a disease, right? About a vaccination, etc. So social marketers here can enact dramas, street plays, right, etc. regarding all this sort of social causes. Okay, so I'm trying to relate it with the social marketing aspect as well, right? Now, like I said, social marketing, it just uses the commercial marketing application, I mean, the techniques and tools, right? So we need to first understand the technicalities or uh, the principles of marketing in general, which we can ultimately apply in a social aspect, or in case of social marketing. Now moving on to the next type of communication mix element. This is personal selling, right? Just as the term suggests, I hope it is very clear. It is about interpersonal encounters in which efforts are made to educate customers and promote preference for a particular brand or product, right? So what happens in personal selling? There is a direct face-to-face interaction, right? And this is specially conducted in order to educate customers, right? And it has limited application. The limited application would include the high cost, and it is also sometimes very difficult to reach the mass market. So unlike advertisement, which is used to reach out to the masses, personal selling is a method or a technique which is used to have a direct personal connection or relationship with the audience, right? So there are limitations here, such as it can be costly or expensive comparatively, because here you have to visit personally and have a personal direct interaction, right? So it is difficult to reach out to a large group. Okay, so it is also a traditional method of marketing communication, right? This is this It happens when salesmen approach prospective customers directly to explain the products and services they offer, right? It also enables communication directly, physically or verbally, usually face to face, and it is considered one of the most reliable modes of communication. Now remember, like I said, social marketing is way more cheaper compared to the commercial marketing, because such kind of communication mix elements are very useful or effective in context of social marketing. Now, why? The reason is because in order to explain about a social problem, right, or in order to persuade people to change their behavior, right, or to, let's say, to adopt a new behavior, right, from the past undesirable behavior, you need to explain to them in a very technical manner, right, in a way that your audience or the receiver, right, they understand it fully. Now this can happen through personal selling when you have a direct face-to-face interaction, and the doubts could be cleared then and there itself, right? Now, so let's say, for example, you want to start a campaign, right? A program which is directed towards prevention of disease. Now, let's say there is a new type of disease that has emerged. Now, you want to make people aware about that new disease by preventing some of the actions, right, which already exist among a group of people. So when you approach these people, let's say in a particular community, personally, they'll have a lot of doubts, right, regarding this new disease. They may not believe you at first. So you'll have to explain it in such a way that they actually believe you, right? So that will happen when you communicate with them, you build a relationship with them, you solve their doubts, right? You clarify them, you explain it to them in their own language or mother tongue or whatever it is to make them persuade, right? So this is why personal selling can be a very effective tool in social marketing context. Now, not just in social marketing, but in commercial marketing also, it is used. Usually, you might have seen when a company or when a new product is launched in the market, when we do not have much idea about the product, right? Then there are salesmen who visit door to door, right? Who visit us personally, trying to explain what the product is about, what are the specialties, how is it different from other products, right? So because we might have a lot of questions, we might have a lot of doubts regarding that new product. So the salesman or that marketer, he tries to explain it to us in a better way, right? With giving us a demonstration and everything, so that we believe in the product and actually make a purchasing decision. Okay, so moving on to the next uh, communication element, which is direct marketing, right? Now this is somewhat similar to the previous element, that is uh, personal selling, right? Now in direct marketing also, just like personal selling, there is no middleman, right? So the communication happens from the producer or the developer or originator of the idea to the customer or the consumer directly, right? So there are no intermediaries or agents involved in between the producers and the customers. This is why it is known as direct marketing. The communication flows or transmits directly from the producer or the developer of the product or idea to the end consumer or the customers, right? Now this is also one of the alternatives for the producers to reach the market directly. Now, direct sales offered through Sky Shops on television, direct contact of customers through mail, e-commerce, etc. can be some of the examples that we can think of in direct marketing, right? Sometimes you may get a direct, you know, call from the management, suppose from the customer relationship management team, asking you about the review or feedback of the product that you have recently purchased from them, right? Or services that you have availed from them. So this is a sort of direct marketing. Now, to motivate customers and clarify their doubts about the service, uh, by transmitting the service process and other features and options to the electronic media can be a goal of direct marketing, right? It can be an objective. So just like it is somewhat similar to personal selling, like I said, it can be also used to clarify the doubts about the service or products. So this was about the elements of communication mix. So we have seen basically four types. That is advertisement, sales promotion, personal selling, and direct marketing. Each element having their own specialities, own characteristics, and own purpose and uses. Right? Okay. These are some of the examples. This direct marketing can be done through, which is emails, faxes, mobile phones, telephonic conversation, etc. And then, yeah, lately digital marketing has also have been very popular, right? Compared to television advertising, it has in fact surpassed the television advertising uh, in terms of the marketing activities or direct marketing, right? So since it is less expensive, so this can be also accessed and used by even small businesses, right? Okay. So moving on, let us talk about the factors that influences the marketing communication mix, right? Okay. So we have seen about marketing communication mix. Let us look at some of the factors that helps in developing the communication mix. This can be considered as the type of product market, the consumer readiness to make a purchase, and stages in the product life cycle. So talking about the first factor, that is type of product market, right? It is communication mix allocation vary between consumer and business markets, right? So what is the type of product market, whether it is consumer oriented, consumer centric, or business centric, right? I mean the product. So we have to consider about that. So consumer markets tend to spend comparatively more on sales, promotion, and advertising, right? So if your product market is consumer centric, then marketers usually tend to spend more on sales, promotion, and advertising, because in order to reach out to mass, uh, a large number of consumers, you can use either advertising or even make it more effective through sales promotion activities, right? Whereas business marketer, they tend to spend more comparatively on personal selling. This is when sometimes you have to go and pitch your ideas about a project or about your product or service to another organization, right? So in these cases, personal selling becomes very effective. So in general, personal selling is used more with complex expectations, right? And risky goods, and in markets with fewer and larger sellers. Okay, so this is the first factor. The second factor, like I told, is about the buyer readiness stage. How ready are the buyer, right, to make a purchase? So communication tools vary in cost effectiveness at different stage of buyer readiness. So which means depending on the buyer's stage of readiness or willingness to purchase, the communication mix tools or elements may vary, right? So marketers have to be very careful, or marketers have to consider in which stage of the readiness or in which stage of willingness are the buyers are in, right? For example, let's say advertising and publicity plays the most important roles in awareness building stage, right? Like I said, I'll just repeat. Suppose let's try to understand it through an example. If you're trying to spread an awareness about a social cause, about maybe a disease or whatever, advertising and publicity play becomes or plays the most important role, or is considered to be the most effective, because this is when you need to spread your message to a large number of people, and this is why advertising is very important here. Next, customer comprehension is primarily affected by advertising and personal selling. When there needs to be a customer comprehension, and personal selling and advertising again is useful. Then customer conviction is also influenced by personal selling, right? Then personal selling and promotion can be also used for closing sale, right? Closing the sale. Then reordering is also affected mostly by personal selling and promotion, and also somewhat by reminder advertising, right? So this is about buyer readiness stage, and I hope you do remember the behavioral change models and theories, in which we have discussed about the stages in one of the theories and model. Lastly, it is about the product life cycle stage, right? In which stage, in which stage the product's life is in. So communication tools also vary in cost effectiveness at various stages of product life cycle. So depending on which stage the product is in, for example, if it is in the introduction stage, then the communication elements such as advertising, events and experience, and publicity can be most effective, followed by personal selling to gain distribution coverage, right? And sales promotion and direct marketing. Another example can be, suppose in a decline stage, sales promotion is really very effective, right? It goes on very strong. Other communication tools are reduced. So in a decline stage, advertisement would not be a very smart move, right? In terms of communication, because here the customers are already aware, and the customers need not, uh, are not required to be attracted to the product because they are already aware of it. What requires is for them to, get connected, which can be done to sales promotion or personal selling, right? And in which the marketers can highlight the uniqueness, or maybe introduction of a new element in it, right? Or addition of a new characteristic in it, right? Okay, so and salespeople give the product only minimal attention. So this was about product life cycle stage, and as a whole, these are the factors, three factors that influences or affects the marketing communication mix. So this is about today's video presentation. Hope to see you in the next lecture again. See you. Have a nice day. Thank you.